Hi guys, so I'm back again today with another speed draw, and today's topic that I wanted to talk about are my kind of 4 tips on how to get better at drawing, or not necessarily how to get better at drawing, but answering the questions that usually people have when they ask, how do you get better at drawing? And so, like, the first question that I kind of wanted to talk about that I have seen is, does drawing every day make you better? And, for me personally, I don't always draw every day. Now, that's not to say, that drawing every day won't help you improve, but that's also not to say that you won't improve if you don't like decide to draw that day. Like, I don't want you beating yourself up because you didn't draw, because your body and your mind was just telling you, dude, we gotta rest. I'm not feeling it, I said this before in my other videos, to where it's like, for me personally, I've struggled with artist block, and I kind of found that when I don't allow myself to have breaks, I tend to start resenting my art, because it's like my art's a thing that's not allowing me to rest and just breathe. So that's why I don't really suggest you beat yourself up if you're not able to draw every day, because you will still improve. Like, I improved, me personally, I improved despite, my drawing frequencies being so sporadic. I drew when I felt like it. And some days I drew a lot, some days, weeks and months, I did not draw at all. So don't feel bad if you're at that stage in your art. It's a cycle that I've gone through, so you're not alone. So the thing that helped me most was just having a sustainable, consistent routine. And again, consistent not being you must draw every day, but consistent in more so being you are listening to yourself, which is where the sustainable part comes. It's like crash dieting. You want to lose the weight, but you want to do it in like a consistent, sustainable way. Like for me, I if I can only eat 300 calories, yeah, I'll lose the weight fast. But if I got a lot of weight I need to lose, it's going to be a little bit hard to keep that that very intense diet going. So I suggest kind of applying that to your art journey. You know, have a routine that is sustainable and one that you can consistently do. At least that's what I recommend. So for me, I make sure to prioritize my happiness. So I'm feeling like, so if I'm feeling like I want to draw, then I will draw. But if I'm not feeling up to it, then I let it go, because I've noticed that I get, it's like there's two different me's. There's like the art me, and then there's like the me that's just the I want to live and be happy me. And if I don't listen to the other me, sometimes I sound crazy saying this, but anyways, if I don't listen to the other me, then it just triggers the art block, and we're back at square one to where we're not drawing at all. So it's an even balance of listening to both sides of yourself. I sound crazy. Anyways, the second question that I've seen, it says, how many hours a day should you draw? Now, for me, I like to draw again based on how I'm feeling. I'm a very feely artist. I'm an emotional artist, and I'm learning to accept that, because that's just, it is what it is. I'm sorry if you're like, you shouldn't be emotional. I'm sorry that you say that's making me emotional. But anyways, I like to draw based on how I'm feeling. So my main priority, of course, is my happiness. And my second is creating a routine that is maintainable. So I'll have days where I want to draw for 4 hours straight, and other days where I don't want to draw at all. So I won't. So right now, my current routine is that I draw for 25 minutes to 2 hours. Usually my brain can, I can, before brain fog hits, I can last for like 2 hours drawing. And that's usually just during the weekdays. I allow myself to have the weekends off. If I feel like I want to draw, then I might draw, but sometimes I might have to force myself to take a break, because it's like, I know later on you're not going to want to. But anyway, so during the weekday, I do, wow, speak, Shireen. So 25 minutes to 2 hours during the weekday. And that's Why I do that right now is because I have a deadline that I want to reach, and I'm enjoying actually this progress. This I'm enjoying this routine, yes. And I'm actually able to keep to a deadline goal that I've been wanting to achieve. So that's been working for me. And again, that's only if I feel like drawing, because, I want to make sure my happiness is my first and top focus, like priority. I also want to make sure I'm enjoying the journey because I want to continue drawing comics for as long as I can. So I suggest, for you guys to find an amount of time that works best for you. I do recommend, I don't know how to say this word correctly, Pomodoro technique, the Pomodoro technique, where you work for 25 minutes and then you take either a 5 or 10-minute break. So, and also with that, I do suggest you adjust that to your lifestyle because, for practicality reasons, you don't have to. It's like trying to fit a triangle into a circle spot. You can be you and just adjust it to a way that fits best for you. So that's what I do also. Like, I'll work for 25 minutes, I take a 10-minute break, sometimes a 30-minute break. It all depends on how I'm feeling. just do what is best for you and your happiness. The next question that I've seen in regards to how you get better at art is, how do you get better at drawing fast? Like, how do you get good at drawing fast? And one of the things that a saying that I like from Jake Parker is finish not perfect. And for me personally, when drawing comics, I have to learn how to just, that's not to say, you can't give your all and to discourage you from, putting all your passion in that one panel. You're free to do that. And you're also free to allow it just to be what it is. It's done. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to beat yourself up either way, is what I want to try to say. So for me, that's how I got faster at drawing. I allowed myself to be flawed, to have flaws, and to let the flaws stay and breathe, because it gives its own uniqueness to it as well. And again, that's not to force you. If you're one person who wants it perfect, go ahead, because there are also other artists who are able to achieve that level of artwork to where it looks like masterpieces. So it is possible. But if you were to ask me and what I'm doing, that's what I do to try to get faster at drawing. I try to keep the mindset finish not perfect. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece, Shayreen. You're allowed to if you want to stop, you're allowed to let it stop and breathe, and it's still good. It's good. So also the last thing that I did want to talk about were about drawing tools. And one of the sayings that I really enjoyed, that I liked was, it's not the paintbrush that makes the painter, or something like that. Not to say that the tools are irrelevant, but for me, I started out with a piece of paper and a pencil. So even if you aren't able to have like the top quality stuff that other people have, you can still make progress. You can like, for me, for a lot of my illustrations, I use Metabong Paint, which is a free app. So there's still potential for amazing growth and beautiful pieces of artwork. So don't feel too bad, or try not to beat yourself up if you don't have the high-end stuff that you see other artists talking about or other artists using. I'm here to let you know, as a girl who grew up poor, that paper and pencil is perfect. that can get you. It can get you where you need to go. Just remember to stay consistent in a sustainable way and prioritize your happiness. I want you guys to enjoy the journey. I want to enjoy this artist journey. So those are just my tips or answers to questions on how do you get better at drawing. And once again, if you guys do want to read my webtoon, it is on my website at s-morishitastudio.com. If you enjoy, fake marriage tropes, the webtoon is called Catch Me, Fight Me, Love Me. And I also have it on Patreon. You don't have to worry about pledging or supporting. You can just click the follow button on Patreon. It will prompt you to pledge, but just ignore that. And you'll be able to get notifications on your Patreon page or Patreon app whenever I post new episodes on there as well, because I'm also posting episodes for all people on Patreon that are following me. And then, of course, Patreon supporters get that little extra episode update. So if you want to check out my comic there, you can. And if you have any questions about art, not art, because I'm struggling with art, but if you have any questions on how to start a comic, how to draw, not how to draw a comic, because again, I'm struggling, but how to start a comic, website building and whatnot, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. And I am actually curious, what are some of the tips or tricks you guys have on if somebody were to ask you, how do you get better at drawing? Like, what would you tell them? And and also tell me, how did you guys progress with your artwork? How did you get from point A, having to use stick figures, to where point B, you don't really necessarily need to use the stick figures anymore because you got that brain muscle memory going on? Not to say that using the stick figures is bad, because I still need to use that anyways. Okay, I digress. I'm going to keep second guessing myself. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, evening, or night. Okay, bye-bye.